Hi, my name is Roger Price, and this is a story about what happened to me back in 1983, in the fall of 1983. And we all know how easy it is to become addicted to alcohol, and this was the case with me. I was also working full time and playing softball at the same time in the evenings. And we'd always go to the tavern afterwards, drink beer, and from beer it leads to liquor and possibly and then wine. So I got pretty addicted to alcohol. So it was after several years of pretty hard drinking, probably I would guess maybe 6 or 7. And one day I was getting ready to go on vacation from my job in the grocery business, and I stopped by my mom's house, and she took a look at me and she says, "You don't look very good." So I thought, "Oh, come on, I'm fine. I feel fine." Well, she convinced me, and my aunt happened to be there at the same time. They told me I had to go to the hospital, so they drove me over to Riverton Hospital, and they wanted to check me in there. So they checked me in, and I said, "Well, gee, if I could just come back in the morning." So I did. I got to go home that night, and I went back in the morning, and they checked me in, and so I had a lot of issues with myself with the alcohol. It turned out that I had cirrhosis of the liver, jaundice, and ascites, which is his stomach swells up. So it wasn't just a beer stomach; it was just a swelling of the stomach where the esophagus is. The veins in your esophagus swell shut. So anyway, fortunately, I ran into a doctor, Dr. Stanley Sherry, and he was the doctor that happened to be on call that weekend, and he took over my case from then. And it was a long fight, but I stayed a week at the Riverton Hospital, and then they sent me home. And all this time, I got a leave of absence from work because I was in no shape to go back to work at that particular time. So anyway, I got come home, and I was home for several weeks, and I had stopped the alcohol. I hadn't drank a drop after I had been admitted, but I still had a few issues, so I had to go back into Highline Hospital for more tests and evaluations, and they did some biopsies and different things, and so it turned out to be a pretty good drying out period. But anyway, this alcoholism, it was a very serious and nasty thing. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. And I know that if I hadn't been for Dr. Sherry's support and also the support of my family, that is the most important part. A lot of people drink and have fun, and I was the same way. This is really much harder on the family than it is yourself. They supported me, and they hung in there, and I would never put them through that kind of emotional stress again. My mom was just beside herself. It was pretty bad. So anyway, and my brother and sister, they hung in there with me, and all my friends, relatives, they all supported me. So it turned out, and it was several months before I got back to able to do much, and I probably was off work for 3 or 4 months. But everything turned out okay, finally. And now it's been over 35 years since I've had a drop of anything, and it's been a life changer for me in many, many ways. But and it's all been for the better. So anyone that I know how hard it is to quit alcohol, and cigarettes are the same thing. They're just as addictive. So my heart goes out to anybody that's addicted. But I know that anyone can do it if they really put their mind to it. And just think of your family as first, if you possibly can. So I will continue to keep striving, and that this was another opportunity for me to meet all these nice people here at the museum. I volunteered for this a little over a year and a half ago, and it's been a tremendous amount of fun for me, and being able to learn all about the different things. I've lived in Burien my whole life, but now I've found some things out about Burien that I had either forgotten or don't remember. So I think we'll just keep continuing to do what I'm doing. So anyway, that's just one of the major issues that I had growing up. But it was just part of, you know, growing up in your 20s and the 30s. You get hooked on something, and before you know it, it's consuming every minute of your life. So if anybody ever needs a little counsel, would like to be cheered on or help some support, you can just come see me. I'd be glad to try to straighten it out. Anyway, I'm gonna try and do a few more things around here today, and then it'll be good. So that's gonna do it for now.